In this parsha, we have the last three makis, the last of the 10, the last three makis. And then, of course, we have the final makir, the makis b'choros, which ended the whole thing, and then Paroi urged the Eden to leave Mitzrayim. Throughout the process of the makis, there were many times, even in the early makis, in the previous Seder, where Paroi, during the time of the makir, he called Moshe and he says, I'll let you go, just get the makir off my back. I'll let you go. And then he would change his mind. And in this parsha, likewise, each one of the makirs, Paroi called Moshe and said, I'll let you go, get the makir off my back. And then, of course, Moshe took the makir off, and Paroi changes his mind. Makis b'choros is different. Makis b'choros, Paroi, after the makir was already finished, because makis b'choros is one moment. All the b'choros were killed. And Paroi ran out and told Moshe, get out of my land. Something very unique happened in this makis b'choros. It is true that makis b'choros, one could say, is perhaps the most severe of the makis. But it's hard to say that the whole difference is on the severity of the makis, because the other makis was pretty hard. You had makis of wild beasts running the streets and attacking people. Can you imagine lions and tigers and snakes and scorpions running around the street, in your houses, all over the place? It's unlivable, it's untenable. And yet, he didn't convince Paroi to let Eden go. And then there was hail coming down, banging away, and breaking the trees, breaking houses. And that didn't convince Paroi to let Eden go. So it's not, it cannot be, so to speak, that the whole difference is in the severity of the makir, that is intolerable. And then particularly, that here the makir was finished already. When Paroi came calling Moshe, in the other makirs, he called Moshe while it was happening. Here he was already finished. So he knows that's it, this is the end of the makir. And now he comes, calls Moshe and tells him he should go. There must be something else, something unique in the message, in what the makir represented, that convinced Paroi, that told Paroi, okay, this is it, I'm giving up, you have to go. Paroi, originally, when Moshe came to Paroi and told him about Hashem, told him about the Jewish people, how they are special by Hashem, and that you should let Eden go, Paroi said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know of Hashem, and not let Eden go. So throughout the entire series of the makis, Moshe Rabbeinu was constantly telling Paroi, I am going to teach you about Hashem. With the following, this way, you're going to know about Hashem. As we spoke last week, that there were 3 sets of Makis. You remember that? 3 sets. Each one of the 3 sets had to establish Hashem's presence in the world with greater depth, with greater reality. First 3 was just to prove to Pare that there is Hashem. Second 3 is that Hashem is present in the world. And the third 3 is that the third group was to tell Pare that Hashem can do anything in the world. He's unlimited. So all the Makis were to counter Pare's original statement. I don't know of Hashem and I'm not going to listen to him. And yet, and the Makis really proved the point, because everything that Moshe Rabbeinu said came through exactly as he said it. The Rambam says that how do we know a Novi, whether it's a true Novi? A Novi, when he is a true Novi, means he speaks in the name of Hashem. Actually, it's based on the posting in the table. There are different ways to predict the future. There are many people that had different ways to predict the future. There's one very specific, very clear difference between all and a Novi. All can predict the future, if those who can predict the future. They can predict the future in approximation, about, around, something like. To be precise and say, this is exactly what's going to happen at this and this time, that is only a Novi Hashem. And if a Novi, he has a prediction, and it does not follow through exactly as he said, then you know he's not a Novi Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu, when Pare told him by the Tzfardim last week, by the frogs, Pare said to him, get the frogs off my back, I'll let you go. The frogs were only the second Makkah. Already Pare, he said, get them off and I'll let you go. Moshe said to him, I want you to tell me exactly when you want me to come off. And see if I'm going to follow through exactly on what you requested. And Pare named the time. And Moshe said, okay. And that's exactly what happened. In other words, Moshe proved to him clearly that he is speaking in the name of Hashem. There's no way of being interpreting it differently. And yet, even after that episode, the frogs, the next mark after the frogs was the kinim, the lice. So at that time, Pare should have been convinced already that it's Hashem who is doing it. Moshe proved it to him. And yet, Pare still called his Khartoumim, called his sorcerers, and asked them to duplicate. And then the sorcerer said, we can't. And Kinim said, we cannot do it. It's not working for us. This is God's hand.